Hello folks, welcome back. So today is shimming day. I'm going to cut some footage in a second because I already measured for the new shims with the cylinder head on the bench, the camshafts loaded in, because I was waiting on the new barrels and pistons to come. So I'll cut to that and then we'll come back and we'll talk about what I've got on the bench. Okay, so hopefully this is going to translate. You see I've got it marked out here, so just exhaust 1, 2, 3, 4. It's an 8 valve head. And inlet 1, 2, well 5, 6, 7, 8, but 1, 2, 3, 4. Then over here I've got the clearances noted, so it's 1/4 of a mil to 0.3 of a millimetre and 0.15 of a millimetre to 0.2 on the inlet side, which correlates to 6 thou to 8 thou of an inch and 10 thou to 12 thou on the exhaust. So what I will literally do is just take the bottom tolerance, try that in, and then work my way up and see where we land through a combination of these. So you can see, for example, if I take the inlet, so 0.152, I've got here, a bit difficult to film, I'll come in from the top, and so that goes in. A little bit of drag there, but not a lot, so we're going to be a little bit more than that. So I'm going to work my way through these through combinations of feeler gauges, mark these down, and then we'll see how far away we are. So you're okay with that footage?
Well, yeah, that what you've just done.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so I've just explained to you valve clearances. And then you're going to tell everybody how we do valve clearances, and then I'll tell you what the calculation is.
Right, but I don't think I fully understand. Okay, right. So these pieces, I'm sure I've got a name. Camshaft with my pear drops on.
Cams.
Them. They go inside along here, and then my pear drop is going to turn round, and the pear drop presses on this, which is lower in here, and so each of these valve are different heights, because each of these round things have these little bits in them that are different thicknesses, and we have to work out which ones of these we need, because you don't put more than one in. These are different thicknesses, so we need to work out which thickness we need to go inside. We've got 5 remaining. Joe's worked 3 out, and we've now got to work out which thicknesses we need to go in there for when my pear drop turns round and touches it to press the valve. But what I don't understand is
why they're all different.
What makes them different? Whether the pear drops are different sizes.
So these will be different slightly on tolerance, plus they'll have worn slightly differently. Then how compressed the springs are against the valve, because the valve seat will be slightly different, because you've got a machining tolerance for these to be sealed in here. So that's the other end of that valve.
Okay, so under the thing that was poking up, there's a spring.
Yep.
And depending on how compressed that spring is,
based on how long the valve is. So there's a couple of differences. So
okay, help me understand.
You've got very badly drawn cam.
Pear drop.
then there'll be a gap. Yep.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to work out.
Yeah.
Under that gap, there is the bucket, which is this.
Which is those, yeah.
In the top of there is the shim, which is what takes up the tolerance. Okay, so we're trying to get that to an ideal thickness, and it's different for the inlet and the exhaust. Okay. This then, as you said, acts upon the valve, which very badly drawn valve. It's like that in the cylinder head.
Yeah.
Okay, that sits against the seat here, and then there's a chamber in like this. Then there's a spring in the cylinder head. Okay.
Mhm.
The collet there that holds all this together is retained by a groove here and some little pieces. Okay, that sits on top of the spring, like so. So what we're trying to account for is this will have been machined slightly different, and to these edges will have worn slightly different, and so will these. So this will have changed. In general, it will move this way,
Right.
making this move higher up. But also,
So it'll mean that this is shorter. If this is all moved up, this gap is smaller.
but then if this is worn, the gap gets bigger. The bottom of the cam. Plus, when they're manufactured, they'll all be slightly different, which is like what you said earlier, why they're not all just the same size shim, and why you
Okay.
have the shims.
So when you're saying it's all because it's worn, this is because we're using a used engine in the first place. These aren't new pieces. So it's been worn through its previous use.
So where for it to be different, yes, but also the fact that these ran in a different cylinder head, so the clearances will be different. The way it was machined will be slightly different. There'll be tolerance on everything, and that stack of tolerance is what makes the difference across the valves.
Right, okay. So for each one, we've got to count for all these variables.
Yep.
The differences in the wears that are at the bottom, how compressed the spring is, the differences and the wears that are happening at the top,
Yep.
and the differences in the wears on each of the pear drops inside. And they'll be different on, like you say, both sides, because one's the exhaust side,
Yep.
you use the word exhaust, and the other
Yep.
side is the inlet side.
Yep.
So in and out. Okay.
And the exhaust side has a bigger tolerance.
Right.
That has a bigger tolerance because it gets,
Hot.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
And like
for
you say,
example,
we don't have more than one in a thing.
this is a crude measurement, but so that is one cam on the exhaust. Yeah, exhaust side. Should be using a micrometer for this, but and then if we measure this one, so there is a difference.
Okay, just do the
But
top again because I missed it.
0.87,
Okay.
35.9. So that's 0.3 of a mil difference, cam to cam.
Right.
Now our tolerance is, top end of our tolerance is 0.3 mil,
Right.
just as a gap.
Okay.
So you've already got to
So-
account for that in the shimming.
In your spreadsheet,
So I've cheated.
I don't know if this is going to translate on the computer to the camera, but Joe has put in the computer a recommended clearance for the exhaust and for the intake. So then when we're measuring it, we can see what the numbers it should be in between.
Yep.
And then he's done some Excel spreadsheet wizardry.
To work out what the
Gives
new
us a
shims are going to
number.
be.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. So let's work it out.
so what we do, as I've just measured, we take the gap that we measure, and then we take away from that what our desired.
I don't like being this side, I can't see.
What our desired clearance is.
Right.
Yeah. That gives us a difference. Okay.
Yep.
Then we take the current shim size that's fitted when we did this measurement, and we add this difference. Yeah?
Yep.
And that equals our new shim size.
Okay.
Yeah?
Right.
So in the instance, let's pick a cylinder. So if we take exhaust number 4,
Yep.
what do I measure that at? So the current clearance on that was 0.394.
Right.
Our tolerance window is 0.25 to 0.3. So that's out, isn't it?
Yep. It's too much.
Yeah. So then to get to midpoint, our desired is 0.275, which is bang on between these two. Yeah. Which gives us, I've got it written down, so I'm cheating. 0.119. Okay.
Yep. I'm following you.
So then if we add this to our current shim, the current shim was 2.8. That equals 2.92. You have to round up or down because the shims only come in zeros or 5s.
Okay.
So we end up putting a 2.95 shim in.
Right.
That
okay.
brings us down just below this tolerance.
Okay. Okay. So how do we know which one of these was that one?
So
is that the way that you've
these are
laid
laid
them
out. So I've already written exhaust and inlet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
So this was
that
for
is-
exhaust number 4.
Yep.
And we want a 2.95.
Or 0.295.
Oh, 0.295.
Yeah.
So how do I know what's what? 295T.
Yep.
And we put that then on the top. You take that out of there then. Come on, Prentice.
You want a
Does
little
it-
bit of oil on that.
Does it have a right and a wrong way up? 'Cause it's got a number on one side.
Put the number on the. We put the number on the bottom.
Number on the bottom.
Yep.
I was going to drop it in.
So you only want to
Just a little bit on the one side.
smear and pop it in. Well. What do you notice about this?
I noticed a lot of things. Are you wanting me to notice this gap here?
Yeah.
I feel like that's
What's
what you want me
this?
to notice.
Do you know what this is doing?
Looks like it's holding these together in this place because it goes
Yeah.
through both of them.
So in here there's a big spring.
Oh, they like springs, don't they?
Yeah. It tries to make this gear go this way compared to this gear.
Right.
And the reason that's done is to make, when you engage this in the centre gear that we put the chain on, last video, it's designed to make this sit tight in those gears.
Because one's trying to twist one
Push,
way and
yeah.
one's going the other.
Yeah. And that's done so when you're driving the centre gear, it's pushing against this, then this gear set is tight.
Oh, okay.
But by nature of clearance on gears, so if you get these here, there'll be some chatter. Okay?
Okay.
What this is designed to do is stop that. So when you're driving it one way, it stays tight. When it goes the other way, you come up against this sprung-loaded gear. That stops these chattering
Right.
when you take the load off.
Okay. So they don't like any wiggle room.
No. So the way to set these, 'cause obviously the spring, this doesn't sit in line. This hole here wants to be over here
Oh, okay.
compared to this one.
So is there a tool or something you have that
Yeah.
twists that?
So there's a tool that you have 2 pegs that sit in this hole with a handle on it, and you turn that, you hold it against this hex here, it's like a nut.
Right.
So you hold that with a spanner, lever to this.
And then have a second person to put that
drop
in.
the pin in, which I've already done. And I'm not undoing them again.
How did you do that without a second, people?
Exactly. So. Other key thing. One's exhaust and one's an inlet cam. How do we know the difference? Can you spot the difference between the
That
two
was
cams?
coming.
Can you spot the difference?
Well, should I put it down next to it then? In the same way around. Whenever you play spot the difference, they're always the same way around. Your pear drops are pointing a different way.
They are, yeah.
But that's not the difference you wanted, I can tell by the tone of your voice.
Well, that will be the difference, but how do we know which one is which? Because they will both fit in the same places.
Okay, so they're not different diameters.
No, they even share the same gears.
They've got the same numbers on. Is it blindingly obvious? Am I just like...
It's not blindingly obvious.
Can we maybe edit this footage so it doesn't look like it took me this long?
Okay, let's just try a different way.
Ah, this has got an E on it. Oh no, that's
No,
got an E on it.
yeah.
Oh.
Okay, let's try a different way. Probably a more sensible way.
They look the same.
If you didn't know, how would you find out?
I would look in the book. I'd look at a picture. Right in my hand. Oh, but I feel like I should be able to spot the difference because you said I could.
You will be able to, but
You want me to look at a picture first? So hang on. How do I know what page I want?
what we're doing.
I'm doing engine.
Yep. So what does the engine come under?
Page 2.1.
Yep. So they're split into grey chapters like this.
Yeah, but I'm not just looking for a picture. I was just looking for a picture.
Come.
There's not a picture of one, but I feel like you're pointing because you want them to be. Is this it?
There we go.
Oh, here we are. Okay, these are... Note the groove arrowed the intake camshaft. Ah, there.
There you go.
So that one's your intake and that one's your outtake. I feel
Yep.
like that did take me longer than maybe the
Outtake.
average intake outtake.
Exhaust.
Well, yes.
So there you go. So now we're going to fit these in. So the exhaust one is oiled up, and
Yeah.
you see we've got two dashes.
Mm-hmm.
They need to line up with a dash somewhere on that other wheel with the chain on.
You want me to find the dash
I
now,
do, yeah.
don't you? On the other wheel.
Yeah. I'll give you a clue, it's on the other side.
This wheel. Oh, you're so helpful. I get all the clues. Ah, here.
You got a dash, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll put this one in, and then you're going to put the inlet one in.
Oh, thanks.
Okay.
I get treated so well.
So as you can see, there's our dash,
Oh, I see. So you go down a bit.
and there he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Freddie, if your bike doesn't work later, this will be why. There.
Yeah. Pin in
There?
place. Yeah, it can't go over that pin though, can it? That could be a challenge.
So has it got to go under the pin?
Not if one of my pins are too long.
I think your pin is too long, it's in my way.
Let's try again with some shorter pins.
Yes, so we
You
now
want
have
as well?
shorter pins, and I've got an
Exhaust.
intake and an outtake.
Go on.
You said go on then, but it didn't sound like go on, it sounded like you called me something. Oh,
Yep.
I thought you were doing it.
No.
Oh, I've got to line my dots back up.
Is it dots or is it dashes?
Oh, it's dashes.
There's dots as well on there, but which side are we doing?
Oh, I've got the exhaust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which goes on this end. Goes in this way.
Oh, so I had the other side last time, did I? I'm well confused. I've lost my lines. Now my hands are just all covered in goop.
It's not goop. This might require a photo. Yeah?
I think so. I'm going with that.
Yeah?
And then that you wanted that in the middle, roughly there, like
Yep.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to get the other one while my hands are goopy. I feel like that one should be at the back because the exhaust is at the back of the bike.
No, the exhaust comes
So
out the front.
that's what's confusing me in my head. The in should be at the front and the exhaust should be at the back. Where's my dots gone? I think Triumph have just got it all wrong. Right,
Can't remember where we got
so
to.
we're all back together.
Cams are in.
Cams are in,
Torque down.
torque down. These are all lined up. Your dots are lined up. Your lines are lined up.
And
These
out.
are all in.
The R's lined up.
The R's lined up. I've checked it. I've got my little ruler out because I've got a line here.
Yep.
Okay. So we're going to spin this
4 times.
4 times, and top should be at the top.
Yep.
And my lines should also be
Parallel.
parallel. Right.
And your dots and your dashes should line up.
Dots and dashes. Okay. Oh. So you have to spin backwards. Okay. 1. 2. Oh, it smells funky. 3.
There's number 4.
Here's number 4.
Got good compression, isn't it?
It has. I feel like I don't. Right. Need a little bit more in.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, look, top's at the top. And my lines are there.
Yep.
And my R's here. I'm going to take this off.
Alright.
My R's here. And I line up with that line on there.
Yep.
And that line on there.
And go and,
Job's a good one.
go and check your dots and your dashes.
Oh, yeah, I see. So these dashes this side. And these dots this side. Are all lined up. It stinks.
Oil.
Is that what I can smell?
Yep. Oil pipe internal. 8 Newton meters. One of these.
What is a Newton metre? You've used the term loads and I've just kept repeating it, but I don't know what a Newton metre is.
Where are you pointing?
To the bits of stuff.
Newton meter. So a Newton is a measure of force. Okay.
Okay,
So a given applied force
right.
applied as a torque around a central node. There is another word for that. I can't think what it is in my head. At a meter's length.
Okay, so a force of pressure applied from a metre away. No.
Yeah, around
That
around
face-
a point. Yeah.
That face said, no, you've got that wrong.
Yeah. So it's an equivalent of, say, if you had a bolt,
Right.
that's your central node,
Yeah.
and then a meter away,
Yeah.
and you apply 1 Newton there.
Oh, okay. And a Newton is a measurement of pressure.
Force,
Force.
not pressure.
Force and pressure in my head are the same thing,
No.
but they're clearly different to you.
No.
Okay, but from a meter's distance.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm with you. Okay, oil lines.
Yep.
Yep.
So this is the cam oil feed from the oil gallery. We have a nice shiny new O-ring,
Mhm.
and we have 2 new copper washers,
Mhm.
because we like to fit those. So this here is the feed from the gallery,
Okay.
which comes up from the pump. So it all comes up out of here, into here, and then feeds this camshaft, and then comes across here and feeds the other camshaft.
Okay.
So he just slots in.
So it comes up from the back of the engine, from the exhaust side.
No.
No, I'm on the wrong way around.
Yep.
Ah, I said this last time that I feel like the exhaust should be this side because this is the back of the bike. It's back to front.
So there's that one, and there's that one.
And you've already preset your torque wrench.
Yep, 8 Newton meters. Yep.
That was simple. New gasket on the engine cover.
Yeah, which
For the
is
top.
interesting because the new gaskets they supply, the new gaskets they supply, the new gaskets they
Oh, down
supply.
here, these new ones. These new gaskets here, these ones.
Do you notice something different between that one and this one?
Oh, there's more
Yeah.
lines, dents. I don't know what we're going to call them.
It's a change.
Change.
What was your question?
I was asking, that gasket's obviously rubbery gasket, but some of the gaskets have felt like a plasticky material. And apparently I learnt through the comments on the channel that you can buy gasket paper, and some people have queried whether or not you can make your own gaskets if you've already got an old one, like cut out a template. So like that base one that was really rare and just difficult to come by, could you make your own gaskets?
Can, if you were really stuck, but you'd have to make sure that it was the right thickness and was going to compress to the right thickness. It wasn't as critical in older engines for deck height, as long as you didn't have parts clashing, because you could just tweak the carb to account for the compression differences.
Right.
On a modern engine, the tolerances are so tight that you have to account for the deck height, which is a stack of where the piston crown ends up when it's in the top of the bore. So where that is in relation to the cylinder head and the combustion gases. So if the gasket that's down here is too thin or too thick, then the piston crown ends up higher up.
You're going to get a leak.
You wouldn't get a leak, but you get a change in compression. So you'd have to account for that. Probably wouldn't make a great deal of difference on this, because this managed to run
So if you had a
with the timing
change in
so far out.
compression,
Yep.
is that what causes either a misfire or then it to jolt as you're going along? Would it make it bumpy?
It depends on how the engine behaves with that change. It can cause detonation because you've got higher compression, an engine runs too hot, your ignition can happen too soon. So yeah, there's all sorts that can go on.
What are you doing, just cleaning that up?
Yeah. With GT85.
I was just going to say, what are you using to clean that with? Where did you get that from?
Don't take the mick.
You have to have a little bit of Mickey taking.
This bike is
Only
often
human.
maintained GT85. Oh, he'll be fuming.
I don't think
He
he will.
wouldn't
I think
really.
he'd laugh.
Yeah, I think so. I hope so.
It's been really useful in leaving that here because we've used it a lot.
Yeah. Can't make it right, you make it bright.
That's come up really nice.
Yeah, the powder coating's a bit questionable on this, but it'll detail out all right. Right, that is that, and there should be 4 of these, because you're supposed to replace these whenever you disturb the gasket. There's 2 there, aren't there?
Oh,
3.
to be fitted by a Triumph trained technician.
Oh no.
Genuine part.